What's going on, everybody? This is Greg Doss, aka DJ Squid, and I'm brought to you by the Man Mindset and the manmindset.com. Now, I have a question for all the men. Where and when was it written that the measure of what kind of man you are is based upon how much crap or how much of somebody else's burden you are willing to shoulder without saying anything whatsoever in your own defense or even having to answer everybody else's expectation of you? That's kind of a long question, isn't it? But anyway, where is it ever written that your manhood has been determined by what you're willing to take from somebody else? Too often we hear guys get blamed for everything from the sinking of the Titanic, which I guess maybe a man might have been, to what some random female decides to do with her body. And I'm going to lean more toward the latter thing that I said, because the Titanic really is of no issue or consequence right now. But I was looking at a couple of posts on Facebook, and I'm not going to mention the person's name because I don't really want to do that. But it was essentially a post, and actually a few people have done this, speaking to how guys are responsible for how a woman acts. You are supposed to be responsible for how someone else behaves, either toward themselves or toward you. Now, you may be responsible for how you choose to deal with it, but you're not responsible for how someone else chooses to behave. And don't allow yourself to get caught up, guys, into falling into this trap that you're only a man when you give up your manhood. And there's no underlying homosexual message there, I'm saying, but why should you give or do something with no sense of expectation? Have you ever asked yourself that? Why do I want to do this? And hell, do I want to do this? And should I care what the next person thinks if I say no or if I say yes or what have you? At what time does the onus of somebody else's doings on them and not on you, guys? I've kind of watched over the last 15 or 20 years where men have taken a back seat to everything. And I'm not going to get into the, men being leaders things, because I think we're supposed to be. But I don't want to make that this topic about that necessarily. But guys, look around you. We even have it so bad now that guys don't follow the lead of other successful guys, but they'll move on impulse for some reason when a woman says something to them. Think, man. Even if that woman is your mother, think. And if things go bad and somebody says, well, this is what a real man should do and what have you, maybe your response should be, well, what would a real woman do? We don't seem to have defined what everyone else's responsibility is to themselves. Maybe we should go back and start doing that, guys. Or maybe each and every guy should formulate your own standard for you, and whatever standard you come up with, stick and live by it, so long as you are ultimately the happy person. Too often it seems that we think that we're better men by living miserably. See, that's why so many men die younger than the woman that they're with. You spend too much time trying to please, and in many cases not expecting any reciprocity. Yet you'll listen to all the social media and entertainment places talk about how much we don't listen, how much we don't try to be good to somebody else, or what the hell have you. Maybe the problem is you're not demanding that people be good to you. Maybe you're not demanding prior to or setting the expectation prior to doing something that, hey, if you don't do this, I'm not going to help you anymore. And I'm not going to feel bad or sorry about it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do based upon some criteria that I've set or some set of expectation. And again, when and where was it ever determined that you're manhood was based upon what you're willing to take from somebody? I see a lot of guys in relationships deal with a lot of verbal abuse. I'm in grocery stores quite a bit, and I'm out and about. I don't do a lot of shopping, but I'm in the mall or what have you. I get out a little bit. And I notice that guys take a lot of the chattering and the verbal kind of abuse from some of the ladies that they're with. Guys, no. I would tell women the same thing. Don't take abuse from anybody. But guys, you're not a better man from listening to some woman nag you. You may be patient. Doesn't make you better. Doesn't make you more of a man. And don't accept that. Quite frankly, when it comes to submission or submitting, don't forget that women pretty much, well, actually far outnumber men. Not in the natural number, because I think it's about 2 point whatever to or 1 and some change to every one guy or whatever. But at any rate, guys, if you walk around with the thought, and I'm speaking germane to relationships, that you can find a woman when you can't find sand at the beach, and just look around you, you can. And really, you find a lot of women who are advertising themselves. Why should you allow yourself to be subjected to anything less than proper treatment? And don't buy into this, well, I treat you that way because of ... No, you treat me that way because you're probably a pretty screwed up person. Again, guys, don't let the measure for your manhood be determined by somebody else, because I still don't know where and when it was determined that the measure of your manhood was based upon how much crap you're willing to take from people without some sense of expectation. It just doesn't make sense. When it comes to your physical health, your physical being. When it comes to your psychological health, your psychological being. Your financial health and your financial well-being, let you be the determiner of what's in your best interest. Hey, listen. This is Greg Doss. You can find me every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time by going to themanmindset.com or going to gregdoss.com. And if you ever decide you want to debate or question any of the topics that you may see on these YouTubes, please feel free to join the show. You can click the link above the mic. And if you want to call the show and join the show live, you can go to you can call 347-838-8420. And it's always imparting. Sometimes it's not about right or wrong. More important, it's about clarity. And you'll never reach resolution if you're not willing to engage in honest dialogue, even if that dialogue is with yourself. Take time to love the person you hug and hug the person you love. Peace and chicken grease. I'm out.